Я бы хотел обратить ваше внимание на другую болевую точку, которая сейчас возникает в связи с тем, что США вышли из ядерной сделки с Ираном. Наш коллега Билл Перри не случайно упоминает ядерный Холокост. В его многочисленных акциях, которые он делает, в том числе по созданию видеорядов своих худших снов, которые он видит в своем воображении, он говорит о возможном локальном конфликте между Индией и Пакистаном, и как этот конфликт перерастает в глобальный конфликт. У него идет такая красная нить его умозаключений, что вообще не существует ядерного локального конфликта. Он в любом случае перерастает в глобальный ядерный конфликт. Я как раз придерживаюсь этой линии. И вот мне кажется, что ирано-израильская ситуация очень похожая. Иран уже, как мы знаем, пересек границы ядерной сделки. Он открыто идет к созданию ядерного оружия. И позицию Израиля мы тоже знаем, что ни в коем случае, перейти красную черту Ирану не позволят. И вот в данный момент ситуация очень острая стоит с предотвращением ядерного конфликта на Ближнем Востоке. Особенно остро.
It's a very, very dangerous situation. I think it was tremendously counterproductive for the United States to withdraw from the JCPOA. I think the remaining parties will find it exceptionally difficult to do the things that will be necessary to keep the JCPOA intact. And while I don't think there are clear indications that Iran has renewed its nuclear weapons program, they are certainly taking steps which make that possibility more likely than it was a year ago. So I think it's very worrisome. I think it's unlikely for the Trump administration to alter its course. And so there is more for Europe and for Russia to do in this regard. But I think the situation will get worse before it gets better, unfortunately.
I still support the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, the Iran deal. I am horrified that the United States, for the reasons that they did, came out of that, because all of the verification methods, all of the reporting from the independent organizations who were doing it said that the Iranians were respecting the deal. So, I'm pleased that Europe, the European Union, Europe, my own country, continue to support the deal. I'm pleased that both Russia and China continue to support the deal. And if it completely disintegrates, then we will be back in the situation very quickly that we were in before, which is that Iran was on the verge of having a nuclear weapon. And if it gets a nuclear weapon, well, who's to know what will happen in the Middle East? But we know what people are threatening. So people are saying if Iran gets a weapon, we will need to have one. Now, that's a complicated process, and one cannot be certain that that's what will necessarily happen, but it won't make the most troubling part of the world any better. It will make it much more difficult.
На тот момент, когда это соглашение о всеобъемлющем плане действий было подписано с Ираном в 2015 году, Иран был гораздо ближе к созданию ядерного оружия, чем сейчас. Потому что за прошедшие годы все-таки Иран в значительной степени сократил и свернул свою ядерную программу. Сейчас он ее возобновляет. Он еще не достиг того уровня, который у него было накануне совместного плана действий 2015 года. Но я думаю, что если будет сохраняться тупик в этом вопросе, то в течение года Иран этот уровень перейдет. От него до ядерного оружия уже будет гораздо более короткий путь.
The longer that JCPOA agreement is suspended in uncertainty, and the Iranians are taking steps to put pressure, particularly on the Europeans, to lift sanctions, American sanctions, or compensate for American sanctions, and taking steps that move them in this direction. They have not crossed critical thresholds yet, but it's moving in the wrong direction. And if we lose the JCPOA, by the time that happens, the Iranians are almost certainly going to be within a year of being able to develop a nuclear weapon.
Well, you know, we had a deal with Iran, which took 13 years to achieve, with the European taking the lead in this. We in France thought the deal was not perfect, but Obama wanted the deal, even if it was not completely tight. Calculus was that during those 10, 15 years, Iran would open to the rest of the world, would freeze its nuclear program, and would be in a different political situation. That was the gambit of the JCPOA agreement, as it's called, except that Trump did not share that view. He thought that the deal was inefficient, that it left Iran with a strong nuclear capability. So he decided to break down the whole treaty by withdrawing, and then worse, making sure that nobody else would fulfill its obligation and therefore trade with it. And the result of it is that the treaty is essentially stopped, stalled, dead in the water. And as a result, the Iranians are breaking their commitments and resuming enrichment of uranium, but they are also, as a result of the oil blockade on Iran exports, they are also beginning to be very aggressive vis-à-vis the vicinity and started attacking, without saying it, but we all know that it's Iran, attacking tankers, the Strait of Hormuz, and then attacking directly Saudi Arabia. So it's a very explosive situation. So the risk of escalation in all of this are very high. But again, the agreement with Iran was a deal. It was not a perfect deal, but at least we had some kind of a legal framework to control what they were doing. Now we have no longer any control of it.
The weapons that are already existent are much more dangerous than a theoretical weapon that another country may get. So I think it will be a danger if a country, any country, not specifically Iran, any other country, beyond those that already possess nuclear weapons, I think it would be very dangerous if any other country would acquire them. But I think we should be more focused on the weapons that already exist than on weapons that may one day exist. I think any country with a reasonable degree of development in its industry and is capable of acquiring a nuclear weapon. But I think the ones that already exist are much more dangerous than the ones that may one day exist.